Typically, developing a new drug takes almost a decade and costs anywhere between $2 to $3 billion. One study estimated that pharmaceutical companies spent $2.6 billion in 2015, up from $802 million in 2003, for the development of a new chemical entity approved by the US Food and Drug Administration. The increasing cost of drug development is due to the large volume of compounds to be tested in preclinical stages, the high proportion of randomized controlled trials that do not find clinical benefit, or with toxicity issues. Given the high iteration rate and substantial cost, exploiting known drugs can help improve their efficacy while minimizing side effects in clinical trials. And now, biopharma companies are in dire need to accelerate the entire drug development process, given that COVID-19 cases and deaths are mounting every day. Under these circumstances, AI technologies allows companies to significantly shorten the preclinical drug identification and design process from several years to a few months or even days. This brings us to this innovative drug development strategy called drug repurposing. Drug repurposing, aka drug repositioning, is a strategy for identifying new uses for approved or investigational drugs that are outside the scope of the original medical indication. This strategy offers various advantages for developing an entirely new drug for a given indication. And while, as it happens, developing an entirely new drug is a high-risk, lengthy, and expensive process. And according to a report by the Eastern Research Group, while it takes 10 to 15 years to develop a new molecular entity, the success rate is only 2.01%. The concept of drug repurposing reuses old drugs for the treatment of a never-considered therapeutic indication. It is an experimental approach of identifying the pre-approved, discontinued, shelved, and investigational drugs for authorized restatement for the treatment of other diseases. Conventional drug development usually includes 5 stages: discovery and development, preclinical research, clinical research, FDA review, and FDA post-market safety monitoring and development. However, there are only 4 steps in drug repurposing: compound identification, compound acquisition, clinical research, and FDA post-market safety monitoring and development. A repositioned drug goes directly to preclinical testing and clinical trials, omitting the initial steps, thus narrowing down the risk and lowering the costs. Several examples exist of repurposed drugs being or having been tested in clinical trials for COVID-19, including antiviral drugs and host-targeting therapies. Remdesivir, a monophosphate prodrug of an active C-adenosine nucleoside triphosphate analog, was originally discovered for the potential treatment of Ebola virus disease. Remdesivir has shown promise in the treatment of COVID-19, prompting emergency use clearance from the FDA, although indication is limited to severe disease only. The FDA made this decision on the basis of early research showing that the drug might help speed up recovery for hospitalized patients with COVID-19. A double-blind, randomized, placebo-controlled trial of intravenous remdesivir in adults hospitalized with COVID-19 showed that remdesivir significantly shortens the median recovery time to 11 days, compared to 15 days in the placebo group. You might be thinking at this point, well, great, if I get sick, I can just use some of those, right? Well, not so fast. These monotherapies, including remdesivir, dexamethasone, and hydroxychloroquine, have shown little or no clinical benefits for patients with COVID-19. Because the immune system plays key roles in the worsening health and death of patients with COVID-19, combining inflammatory or immune modulators with antiviral drugs might offer an effective treatment for patients with COVID-19. The main hindrance, though, is diagnosing and identifying the unique drug-disease relationship. To address this issue, a variety of approaches have been developed, including computational approaches, such as AI, biological experimental approaches, and mixed approaches. Thus, there are chances that application of the AI approach in drug discovery is feasible. Researchers have found many similarities between COVID-19 virus and the 2003 SARS virus, And based on the existing data that cause SARS, AI learning models can be created to predict drug structures that could potentially treat COVID-19. Notwithstanding effectively affirmed repurposed drugs, there is a requirement for recognizing more repurposed drugs. AI and deep learning technology can support this procedure by rapidly recognizing drugs having adequacy against COVID-19, and thus overcome any barrier between a large number of repurposed drugs, laboratory or clinical testing, and final drug authorization. The computational intelligence-aided drug molecule design and repositioning of drug molecules can help in the prediction of excellent antiviral therapeutics. However, the prediction efficiency can increase with a systematic training database and development of relevant learning algorithms. With technological advancements in AI coupled with increased computational power, the AI-empowered drug repurposing can prove beneficial in the COVID-19 scenario. With prior usage experiences in patients, few of the old drugs, if shown active against SARS-CoV-2, can be readily applied to treat the COVID-19 patients. With the collaboration of AI with pharmacology, do you think the efficiency of drug repurposing can improve significantly? Well, let me know in the comment section. Be sure to subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Catch you on the flip side.